I told my wife we were meeting to renew Ryan's lease. I didn't tell her my lawyer, her parents, and a sealed DNA envelope would also be there. The envelope sits on my dining table right now. White, 8 by 10. A red confidential stamp bleeding through where my thumb pressed too hard. Next to it, lease renewal documents, the bait. Next to those, my daughter Lily's math homework, her pencil marks still smudged from eraser dust. Amanda thinks this is just paperwork. Ryan thinks he's getting another year in our garage apartment. Amanda's parents think they're here for a family dinner. Only my lawyer Thomas and I know the truth. That envelope contains DNA results. Results that prove Ryan Mitchell is the biological father of the child my wife is carrying. And in exactly 15 minutes, everyone in this room will know it too. Amanda walks in from the kitchen smiling. She has no idea this is her last day in my home. 8 months ago, I didn't see it coming. That's what I tell myself anyway, that I couldn't have known we were good, or I thought we were. Married 6 years. Amanda designed interiors for wealthy clients in Orange County. I worked as a corporate lawyer downtown. Lily, my daughter from my first marriage, had finally started calling Amanda by her first name instead of Dad's wife. Progress, family. Ryan moved into our converted garage apartment in January. He was going through a divorce. Messy. His ex-wife cleaned him out, took the house, took the dog. He needed a place to land, and we had the space. Amanda suggested it, actually. He seems so lost, Jonathan. We should help him. I thought it was kindness. Ryan paid on time, kept to himself. Sometimes he'd join us for dinner when Amanda invited him. He was a graphic designer, freelance, worked from home. We'd talk about sports, about his ex, about starting over. He called me man a lot, shook my hand firm, looked me in the eye. I trusted him. That was my first mistake. The second was not noticing when Amanda started leaving her phone face down. When she showered twice a day instead of once. When she laughed at texts I couldn't see. I noticed in March. We were loading the dishwasher after dinner. Lily was upstairs doing homework. Amanda's phone buzzed on the counter. She lunged for it, too fast, too desperate. But I'd already seen the notification preview light up the screen. Can't wait to see you tonight. Been thinking about you all day. Sender. Ryan. I stood there holding a plate, water dripping. My wife's face drained of color, then flushed red, then settled into something I'd never seen before. Defiance. It's not what you think. That's what she said. Not, I'm sorry, not, let me explain. Just, it's not what you think. I set the plate down, carefully. My hands were shaking, but I kept my voice level. Then, what is it? She smiled. She actually smiled. He's going through a hard time, Jonathan. I'm being a friend. You're so suspicious lately. It's exhausting. Gaslighting. That's what Thomas would call it later. But in that moment, I second-guessed myself. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe thinking about you could be innocent. Maybe... No. I installed security cameras the next day. One aimed at the front door. One at the garage apartment entrance. One in the kitchen. I told Amanda they were for safety after a neighbor got broken into. She believed me. I watched the footage every night after she went to bed. Frame 004732, March 18th. Ryan's hand on her lower back, in my kitchen, while Lily slept upstairs. 4 months ago, Amanda told me she was pregnant. She came into my home office on a Saturday morning holding a pregnancy test, 2 pink lines. She was crying, happy tears, she said, and she wrapped her arms around me and whispered, "We're going to have a baby, Jonathan. Our baby." I held her. I smiled. I said all the right things. "That's amazing, honey. I'm so happy." But my mind was already calculating. When did we last have sex? When was she ovulating? When could this have happened? We'd been intimate exactly 3 times in the past 3 months. Once in February, quick, perfunctory, after a work event where we'd both had too much wine. Once in early March before I saw that text, and once in mid-March after a fight about me working too much. Makeup sex, mechanical, forgettable, but Amanda was already planning. She posted the announcement on social media that same afternoon, a photo of us holding the pregnancy test, both grinning. The caption made my stomach turn. Our miracle baby, Jonathan and I are so blessed. Baby Hayes, coming October, Narts, family growing, jar grateful baby number 2. The comments poured in. Congratulations. So happy for you. Lily's going to be a great big sister. I clicked like on the post. I had to. Anything else would raise questions. 3 days later, Amanda came home from her first prenatal appointment. She had an ultrasound photo, grainy, black and white, a tiny blob with a flickering heartbeat. She pointed to the date in the corner. Due date is October 28th. The doctor said I'm about 8 weeks along. I nodded. I kissed her forehead. I taped the ultrasound to the fridge next to Lily's school art projects. Then I went into my office and pulled out a calendar. October 28th. Due date. Count back 40 weeks. Conception window, late January, early February. I flipped to February in my planner. There it was, highlighted in yellow. NYC business trip, February 10th, 17. 7 days. I was in New York for a legal conference. 7 days straight. The due date she circled, 9 months from a week I was in New York for 7 days straight. If you've ever had that moment where the math just doesn't add up, where you knew something was wrong but didn't want to believe it, drop a comment. You're not alone. I became a detective in my own home. I reviewed the security footage methodically. Every night, frame by frame, I kept a notebook, dates, times, patterns. March 18th, 11:47 p.m., Ryan enters main house through kitchen door. Exits 1:23 a.m. March 22nd, 10:15 p.m., Ryan enters. Exits 12:58 a.m. March 29th, 9:30 p.m., Ryan enters. Exits 11:45 p.m. Always when Lily was asleep. Always when I worked late or had depositions that ran past midnight. Amanda knew my schedule. She planned around it. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I called Thomas Gardner, my colleague, my friend for 15 years, a family law attorney who'd seen every flavor of betrayal humanity could cook up. We met at a coffee shop near the courthouse. I brought my laptop. I showed him everything. The text I'd screenshotted when Amanda left her phone unattended, the security footage, the timeline. Thomas watched in silence. When I finished, he closed the laptop and looked at me. You need a DNA test. I know. And you need to document everything. Save all of this. Back it up in 3 places. I know. Jonathan, he leaned forward. What do you want? Divorce? Custody of Lily? To expose her? What's the end game? I stared at my coffee, cold, untouched. I want the truth. You already have the truth. No. I met his eyes. I want everyone to have the truth. Her parents, Ryan, everyone who congratulated us on social media, everyone who thinks we're this perfect family. I want them to see what she did. Thomas frowned. That's not revenge, Jonathan. That's humiliation. Be careful. It's accountability. He sighed. Okay, but you'll need leverage. The prenup, does it have an infidelity clause? I nodded. We'd signed a premarital agreement 6 years ago before the wedding. Amanda didn't fight it. She made decent money on her own. The house, this house, was mine before we married. Built it myself on land I inherited from my father. The prenup was simple. In the event of proven infidelity, she forfeits any claim to property acquired during the marriage. At the time, it felt like paranoia. My first marriage ended badly. I was protecting myself. Now it felt like prophecy. Thomas pulled out a legal pad and started writing. Here's what we do. Get the DNA test done quietly. Once you have confirmation, we'll plan the confrontation. But not just you and her. Bring witnesses. Make it formal. Make it undeniable. Witnesses? Her parents. They have a right to know. And Ryan, he should be there too. If he's the father, he deserves to know what he's gotten into. A plan started forming. Cold, calculated, everything I'm good at as a lawyer. What about Lily? I asked. Lily doesn't see any of it. Send her to your sister's that day. Protect her from the fallout. I nodded. Thomas slid the legal pad across the table. One more thing. When you do this, when you drop that bomb, you have to be ready for the consequences. Amanda won't go quietly. Her parents might blame you. Ryan might freak out. This will get ugly. It's already ugly, I said. I'm just bringing it into the light. He studied me for a long moment. All right, let's keep this professional. Let's keep this professional. That phrase became my mantra, my anchor. Whenever I wanted to scream, to smash something, to confront Amanda in the heat of rage, I repeated it. Let's keep this professional, because this wasn't about emotion. It was about evidence, about accountability, about protecting the home I built for my daughter. I left the coffee shop with a plan. First, DNA test, prove paternity. Second, gather documentation, prenup, property deed, timeline. Third, orchestrate the reveal. Controlled, witnessed, undeniable. I drove home. Amanda was in the kitchen, humming. Her hand rested on her belly, barely a bump yet, but she cradled it like a trophy. Hey, honey, how was your day? I kissed her cheek. Productive, I said. That night, I ordered a DNA test kit online. Discreet packaging, fast shipping. 2 days later, I collected a sample from Amanda's toothbrush. Easy. She was a sound sleeper. Ryan's sample was trickier. I waited until he threw out his coffee cup in the shared recycling bin behind the garage. I retrieved it, sealed it in a plastic bag, sent both to the lab with my credit card number and a prayer. Then I waited. 3 weeks later, an email arrived. Subject, DNA test results available. My hand hovered over the mouse. This was it. Confirmation, the point of no return. I clicked. The PDF loaded. Clinical, cold, numbers and percentages and terms like alleles and genetic markers. And then at the bottom, alleged father Ryan Mitchell. Probability of paternity, 99.97%. Alleged father, Jonathan Hayes. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. I read it 3 times, 4, 5. The lab email said, results ready? Probability of paternity, 99.97%. I closed the laptop. I sat in the dark in my office for an hour. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just sat. Amanda was in the living room watching TV, laughing at something, carefree. I thought about confronting her right then, walking out there with the printout and throwing it in her face. But that's not what I did. Instead, I called Thomas. I have the results. And Ryan's the father. Silence on the other end. Then, Jesus, Jonathan, I'm sorry. Don't be. I need you to draft a plan. I want to do this in front of everyone. Everyone? Her parents, Ryan, you. I want witnesses. I want it on record. That's extreme. That's the point. Another pause. All right. When? Ryan's lease is up in June. I'll schedule a renewal meeting. Tell Amanda it's routine paperwork. Invite her parents under some other pretense. Bring the DNA results in a sealed envelope. Jonathan, let's keep this professional, Thomas. He laughed, bitter, sad. You're a cold bastard when you want to be. I learned from the best. We planned it meticulously, every detail, every word. I sent Ryan an email 2 weeks later. Ryan, your lease is up June 7th. Let's meet Friday evening, 6 p.m. to discuss renewal terms and go over the agreement. Bring any questions you have. Looking forward to continuing our arrangement. Ryan replied within an hour. Sounds good, man. Thanks for being flexible. See you then. I told Amanda her parents were coming for dinner that night. She was thrilled. Oh, that's perfect. I'll make Dad's favorite roast. It'll be nice to have everyone together. I smiled. Yeah, nice. I called my sister Catherine, told her to take Lily for the weekend. Catherine asked why. I said I'd explain later. She didn't push. The pieces were in place. The trap was set. I sent Ryan an email. Lease renewal meeting, Friday 6 p.m. Let's keep this professional. The DNA test kit arrived on a Tuesday. Plain brown box, no labels. Just a return address in New Jersey and my name printed in Arial font. I waited until Amanda left for a client meeting. Then I opened it in my office with the door locked. Inside, 2 sterile swabs in plastic tubes, instructions printed on glossy paper, a prepaid envelope, and a warning at the bottom of the instruction sheet that made me pause. Do not inform subject of test. Results are for informational purposes only and may not be admissible in court without proper chain of custody. I laughed. Bitter. Quiet. She had no idea what was coming. I collected Amanda's sample that night. She was asleep by 10. Pregnancy made her exhausted, she said. I went into the bathroom, opened her toothbrush drawer, and rubbed the swab against the bristles of her electric toothbrush. Blue Oral-B. She'd used it that morning. DNA would still be there. Saliva, skin cells. The swab went into the tube. I sealed it, labeled it Sample A with the black Sharpie they'd included. Ryan's sample was harder. I couldn't just walk into his apartment and swab his mouth. I needed something he'd touched recently, something with enough biological material. I waited 3 days. Finally, Ryan threw out a Starbucks cup in the shared recycling bin behind the garage apartment. Venti iced coffee. I'd seen him drinking from it that morning when he waved at me on his way to his car. I waited until dark, put on gloves, latex from under the kitchen sink, retrieved the cup. The straw was still damp, plastic lid covered in condensation. I swabbed the straw opening, both sides, then the rim where his lips would have touched. Sample B. I packaged everything according to instructions, sealed the envelope, drove to the post office during my lunch break, and handed it to the clerk. Express shipping? Yes. She weighed it, scanned it, handed me a tracking number. Should arrive in 2 days. I watched the tracking obsessively. Shipped, in transit, out for delivery, delivered. Then the waiting started. The lab email said results would take 7 to 10 business days. I checked my inbox every hour, every 30 minutes, every 10 minutes by the end of the second week. Amanda asked why I was on my phone so much. Work stuff, big case. She bought it. She always bought it. Have you ever known something was true but hoped you were wrong? Drop a heart if you understand. Day 12. The email arrived at 9:47 a.m. I was in a partners meeting. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall. My hands shook as I opened the attachment. Test date, May 15th. Samples received, May 8th. Analysis. Complete, May 14th. Alleged father, number 1, sample B, Ryan Mitchell. Probability of paternity, 99.97%. Conclusion, sample B is not excluded as the biological father. Alleged father. Number 2, sample A, Jonathan Hayes. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. Conclusion, sample A is excluded as the biological father. I read it until the words blurred. 99.97%, not excluded, 0%, excluded. The baby wasn't mine. The baby Amanda was carrying, the one she'd announced on social media, the one her parents were already buying gifts for, the one she cradled every night while lying in our bed, wasn't mine. I sat on that toilet in a law firm bathroom for 20 minutes. My tie felt too tight. My chest hurt, my vision tunneled. I didn't cry, I wanted to, but nothing came, just cold, just empty. The lab email, results ready, probability of paternity, 99.97%. Thomas looked at the report for a long time. We were back in his office, door closed, blinds drawn. He'd printed the PDF and spread it across his desk like evidence at trial. This is conclusive, he said finally. I know. And you're sure you want to do this publicly? Yes. He leaned back in his chair, studied me. Jonathan, I have known you 15 years. I've never seen you like this. Like what? Cold, clinical, like you've already buried her. I shrugged. I have. Thomas sighed. He pulled a file from his drawer, thick, labeled Hayes Premarital Agreement. Let's go through this. Section 4.2 Infidelity Clause. In the event of proven adultery, the offending spouse forfeits all claims to jointly acquired assets and waives spousal support. And the house? The house was yours before marriage. Deeds in your name alone. She has no claim. What about custody? Lily? Lily's your biological daughter from your first marriage. Amanda has no legal standing. You'll retain full custody. Amanda might argue for visitation, but given the circumstances... He gestured at the DNA report. No judge would look favorably on her case. Good. Thomas flipped through more pages, highlighted sections, notes in the margins. If we do this your way, the big reveal, the witnesses, it'll be brutal. Her parents will be devastated. Ryan might panic. Are you prepared for that? Ryan deserves to know. Maybe. But he's going to be collateral damage in this. He put his hands on my wife, in my home, while my daughter slept upstairs. He's not innocent. Fair point. Thomas slid a legal pad across the desk. Here's the strategy. We invite everyone under separate pretenses. You tell Amanda her parents are coming for dinner. You tell Ryan it's a lease renewal. I'll be there as your attorney. Standard for lease agreements in California, you can say. We gather everyone at the table. Then you present the evidence. The envelope. Right. The DNA results stay sealed until that moment. Maximum impact. And after? After we execute, I'll have eviction papers ready for Ryan. Breach of lease due to moral conduct violations. I'll have separation papers ready for Amanda. She'll have 72 hours to vacate. That fast? With cause and a prenup? Absolutely. I nodded. The plan was taking shape. Real. Tangible. Thomas leaned forward, his voice softened. Jonathan, are you sure? Once you open that envelope in front of them, there's no going back. This will define you, her, your family. Everything changes. I thought about that. About the moment the seal breaks. About Amanda's face when she realizes. About her parents' shock. About Ryan's confusion turning to horror. About Lily, safe at Catherine's, protected from the blast radius. I built this home for my daughter, I said, not for Amanda, not for the life we pretended to have, for Lily, and I'll burn it all down to protect her from people who lie. Thomas studied me, then he nodded. All right, let's keep this professional. There it was again, my mantra, my shield. He handed me a folder. These are copies. Keep the originals in a safe place. I'll prepare the legal documents. You set the date. We shook hands. I left his office with the folder under my arm. Evidence, ammunition, justice, 2 weeks until the meeting. Thomas slid the envelope across his desk. Once you open this in front of them, there's no going back. I called Catherine that night, my sister, 2 years older than me. Protective, sharp. She'd never liked Amanda. There's something off about her, Catherine had said at the wedding. Too perfect, too polished, like she's performing. I defended Amanda then, called Catherine paranoid. Now I wished I'd listened. Catherine answered on the second ring. John, what's wrong? How do you know something's wrong? Because you never call at night unless it is. I closed my office door. Amanda was downstairs watching some reality show. I could hear her laughing. Amanda's been having an affair. Silence then. Jesus, with who? Ryan, our tenant. The guy going through the divorce? Yeah. Jesus, she said again. How long? At least 3 months, maybe longer. And the baby? It's his. More silence. I heard her exhale, sharp, angry. That bitch. Yeah. What are you going to do? I told her everything. The DNA test, the plan, the meeting, the witnesses. Catherine listened without interrupting. When I finished, she spoke carefully. John, that's intense. I know. You're going to humiliate her in front of her parents, in front of Ryan. That's not just divorce. That's scorched earth. She humiliated me in my home while Lily slept upstairs. I get it. I do, but she paused. Are you doing this for justice or revenge? What's the difference? One heals, one festers. I rubbed my eyes. Tired, so tired. I don't know anymore, Kate. I just know I can't let this go quietly. I can't let her walk away and spin some story where she's the victim. I need people to see the truth. Okay, then do it, but protect Lily. That's the only thing that matters. That's why I'm calling. I need you to take her that weekend. Tell her it's just a fun sleepover, movie marathon, whatever. Just keep her away from the house. Of course, I'll take her Friday after school. Thank you. John? Yeah? You're not destroying a family. You're protecting the one that matters. Don't forget that. Her words hit harder than I expected. I felt something crack in my chest. Not tears, just weight. Thanks, Kate. Love you, little brother. Love you too. I hung up, sat in the dark. Catherine hugged me. You're protecting the family that matters, Lily. Amanda ramped up the performance in the final weeks. Love bombing, Thomas called it. Classic narcissist behavior when they sense something's off. She started cooking my favorite meals, pot roast on Wednesdays, salmon on Fridays. She'd smile across the table, hand on her belly, talking about baby names and nursery colors. What do you think about Emma for a girl or Noah for a boy? I'd nod, non-committal. Those are nice. She bought baby furniture, a crib, a changing table. She asked me to help assemble them in the spare bedroom, the room that used to be my home office before I moved my workspace downstairs. I helped, screwed in bolts, tightened brackets, smiled when she asked if the crib looked level. Perfect, I said. She kissed my cheek. I love you, Jonathan. I know I haven't said it enough lately, but I do. I love our life, our family. I looked at her. Really looked. She believed it. She believed her own performance, or maybe she didn't. Maybe she was just that good at pretending. I love you too, I lied. When someone tries to rewrite reality, do you confront immediately or wait for the truth to speak? Comment your take. She posted more photos on social media. Us at a maternity store, her holding tiny onesies, captions like shopping for baby Hayes and can't wait to meet you, little one. The comments poured in, friends, family, coworkers. You two are going to be amazing parents. Lily must be so excited. What a blessing. I stopped reading them. One night, a week before the meeting, Amanda tried to initiate sex. She wore lingerie, black lace, expensive. She stood in the bedroom doorway like an actress hitting her mark. Come to bed. I was at my desk, reviewing the prenup for the 100th time. I have work. Jonathan. She walked closer, put her hand on my shoulder. You've been distant. We barely touch anymore. I miss you. I looked up at her. Pregnant, glowing, people would say, carrying another man's child. I'm just stressed. Work. Is it the baby? Are you scared? No. Then what? I closed the folder, turned in my chair, held her gaze. I'm fine, just tired. She searched my face, looking for cracks, for proof I knew. I gave her nothing. Finally, she nodded, kissed the top of my head. Okay, but don't shut me out. We're in this together. Together. The word tasted like rust. She went to bed. I stayed up until 3 a.m., preparing. The next day, Amanda texted me a photo from her prenatal appointment, another ultrasound. The baby was bigger now, more defined. You could almost see a face. She wrote, Doctor says everything looks perfect, baby's healthy, strong heartbeat, coming in October just like we planned. I stared at that photo for 5 minutes. A baby, innocent, didn't ask to be born into this mess, but not my baby. I replied, That's great, honey. See you tonight. She sent a heart emoji. I wanted to scream. She kissed my cheek. I love you, Jonathan. I can't wait to grow our family. All I could think was, whose family? The morning of June 7th arrived cold and clear. California, June, 70 degrees by 9 a.m. I woke up at 6. Amanda was still asleep beside me, one hand on her belly even in her dreams. I showered, shaved, put on a suit, navy, crisp white shirt, no tie yet, professional, controlled. Downstairs, I made coffee, stood at the kitchen counter and watched the sun rise through the window. The garage apartment was dark. Ryan wasn't awake yet. By tonight, he'd be gone. Lily bounded down the stairs at 7:30. Friday, last day of school before summer break. She was excited. "Daddy, Aunt Kate's picking me up after school, right?" "That's right, sweetheart." "And we're having a movie marathon." "Yep, what are you going to watch?" She said I can pick 3 movies. I'm thinking Moana, Encanto, and Frozen 2. I smiled. Real. The first real smile in weeks. "That sounds perfect." Lily hugged me, tight, 8 years old and already too smart for her own good. "Are you okay, Daddy?" My chest tightened. "What makes you ask that?" "You seem sad, like all the time now." I knelt down, met her eyes, brown, like her mother's, my first wife, Sarah. Good woman. We divorced amicably when Lily was 2. Geography killed us, not infidelity. Sarah remarried, lived in Seattle now. We co-parented well. "Sometimes grown-ups have hard days, sweetheart." "Is it because of the baby?" "No. Why would you think that?" She shrugged. "I don't know. You and Amanda seem weird. Kids see everything. They just don't have words for it yet. We're fine, I promise." "Okay." She didn't believe me, but she hugged me again anyway. She pulled out a piece of paper from her backpack. Construction paper, crayon drawing. "I made this for you yesterday in art class." She handed it to me. 3 stick figures, labels underneath in her careful handwriting. Me, Daddy, Aunt Kate. They were holding hands, smiling. A house behind them, a sun in the corner, no Amanda. I stared at it. Felt something crack deeper. "This is beautiful, Lily." "That's our family," she said, matter of fact. "The people who are always there." I folded it carefully, slid it into my wallet. "Thank you, I love it." "You're welcome. Oh, and Mrs. Patterson gave me a gold star for my multiplication test." She launched into school talk. I listened, I nodded. I made her breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice. Amanda came down at 8, still in her robe, hair messy. She looked soft, vulnerable. "Morning, family." Lily waved. "Morning." I said nothing, poured Amanda coffee, black, the way she liked it. "Are you excited for tonight?" Amanda asked. "My parents are coming at 6. I'm making Dad's pot roast." "Can't wait," I said. Amanda smiled, oblivious. She still had no idea. Lily left for school at 8:30. I walked her to the bus stop, hugged her longer than usual. "Have fun with Aunt Kate." "I will. Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, sweetheart." The bus pulled away. I watched until it turned the corner. When I got back inside, Amanda was in the shower. I went to my office, closed the door, locked it. The envelope sat on my desk. Thick, white, still sealed. I'd ordered a physical copy from the lab, overnight shipping, official letterhead, embossed seal. The works, next to it, the timeline board I'd made, corkboard with printed calendar pages, red string connecting dates, photos pinned at key points. February 10/17, my NYC trip. April 3, Amanda's positive pregnancy test. October 28th, due date, mathematical impossibility. Next to that, the lease renewal papers, fresh, unsigned. The bait that would bring Ryan to the table. Next to that, the prenup. Section 4.2 highlighted, Amanda's signature from 6 years ago staring back at me. And next to that, the property deed. This house, my name alone. I arranged everything in a folder. Legal, professional, organized. My phone buzzed. Text from Thomas. "I'll be there at 5:45. You ready?" I replied, "Yes." "Jonathan, last chance to back out. We can do this quietly. Mediation. Keep it civil." "No, this is how it has to be." "All right, see you tonight." I set my phone down, looked at the envelope one more time. Once I opened it, everything changed. My marriage, Amanda's life, Ryan's world, the story everyone believed about us. But it was already changed. It changed the moment she betrayed me. I was just making it visible. At noon, I texted Ryan. "Still good for 6 p.m. tonight?" He replied immediately. "Yep. Thanks again for being flexible with the lease, man. Really appreciate it." I stared at that text. Thanks for being flexible. Man, did he know? Did he feel guilty? Or was he really that clueless? I'd find out soon enough. At 5 p.m., I went upstairs, changed into the full suit, navy, white shirt, burgundy tie, lawyer armor. Amanda called from the kitchen. "Jonathan, can you help me set the table?" I came downstairs. She'd already laid out plates, wine glasses, cloth napkins, the good china we'd gotten as a wedding gift. "We're celebrating tonight," she said. 6 months until the baby. My parents are so excited. I helped her fold napkins. "Where do you want the lease papers?" she asked. "Dining room table. Ryan and I can sign them before dinner." "Perfect. You want me to stay in the kitchen or..." "Actually," I said, "Thomas is coming too. Legal witness for the lease." She frowned slightly. "That seems formal." "It's California law. Protects both of us." "Okay, whatever you think is best." She kissed my cheek, went back to stirring the pot roast. I walked to the dining room, set the envelope on the table, right in the center. Between the lease papers and a vase of flowers Amanda had arranged. White envelope, red stamp, confidential, the bomb. 5:45 p.m. Thomas arrived. I let him in through the side door. He was in a suit, too. Gray, conservative, lawyer face on. "You sure?" he whispered. "I'm sure." We went to the dining room. Thomas sat at the far end. Attorney position, observer, witness. 5:55 p.m. The doorbell rang. Ryan. I opened the door. He stood there in jeans and a button-down, casual, smiling. He shook my hand. "Hey man, good to see you." "Come in." He followed me to the dining room, saw Thomas. His smile faltered slightly. "Ryan, this is Thomas Gardner, my attorney. He's here to witness the lease." "Oh, sure. Makes sense." Ryan sat down, looked at the envelope, curious, but not alarmed, not yet. 6 p.m. The doorbell rang again. Amanda's parents. Amanda rushed to answer. I heard her voice, bright, performative. "Mom, Dad, come in." Richard and Patricia Morgan, mid-60s, retired, conservative. They'd always liked me, respected that I was a lawyer, that I took care of their daughter. They walked into the dining room, confused. "Jonathan," Richard said, "Amanda said this was a family dinner. Why is there a lease agreement on the table?" I smiled, cold, professional. "Because this concerns everyone." Patricia frowned. "What are you talking about?" Amanda appeared in the doorway. She saw everyone gathered, saw Thomas, saw the envelope. Her face paled. "Jonathan, what's going on?" I gestured to the empty chairs. "Please, sit." No one moved. "Jonathan," Amanda said again, sharper now. "What is this?" I looked at her, then at Ryan, then at her parents. "Let's keep this professional." Patricia frowned. "Jonathan, why did you need us here for a lease renewal?" I smiled. "Because this concerns everyone." Everyone sat, slowly, reluctantly. Amanda chose the chair closest to me. Her hand trembled as she reached for her water glass. Ryan sat across from her, eyes darting between the lease papers and the envelope. Thomas remained at the end of the table, legal pad open, pen poised. Professional witness. Richard and Patricia took seats next to their daughter. Patricia's hand found Amanda's. "Honey, what's this about?" Amanda shook her head. "I don't know." But she did. I could see it in her eyes. The calculation. The panic trying to hide behind confusion. I remained standing, buttoned my suit jacket, lawyer mode. "Thank you all for coming," I said. "I know this seems unusual, but I wanted to address something that affects everyone at this table. Ryan shifted. Jonathan, if this is about the rent increase we discussed, it's not about rent. Then what? Let me start with why you're here, Ryan. I gestured to the lease papers. Your lease expires today, June 7th. Normally, we'd renew. You've been a good tenant, paid on time, kept the place clean. He nodded, confused. Okay, but there's been a complication. Amanda's water glass clinked against the table as she set it down too hard. Jonathan, she said, voice tight, can we talk privately? No, this concerns everyone here. Richard leaned forward. Son, what the hell is going on? I picked up the envelope, held it, white paper against my dark suit. The red, confidential stamp faced outward. Everyone's eyes locked on it. 3 months ago, I said, I noticed changes in my wife's behavior. Late night texts, evasive answers, increased time away from home. Jonathan, stop! Amanda's voice cracked. Please, I continued. I installed security cameras. For safety, I told Amanda, but really I wanted to know the truth. Patricia's face drained of color. What truth? In March, I reviewed footage from those cameras. Footage showing my wife and our tenant. I looked at Ryan, entering our home, together, late at night, while I worked, while my daughter slept upstairs. Ryan's face went white. Wait. No, I didn't. You did. My voice stayed level, cold. Frame 004732, March 18th, your hand on her back, in my kitchen. Amanda stood up, chair scraped against hardwood. This is insane. You're humiliating me in front of my parents. Sit down. Something in my tone made her obey. She sat, trembling. Richard looked at his daughter. Amanda, tell me he's lying. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. I continued. In April, Amanda told me she was pregnant. We celebrated. She posted it on social media. Our miracle baby, she called it. I paused. But the timeline didn't add up. The due date she was given, October 28th. Conception would have been early February. I pulled out my phone, opened my calendar, turned it to show the table. February 10th through 17th. I was in New York, a legal conference, 7 days, hotel receipts, flight records. I wasn't home. Patricia's hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. Thomas spoke for the first time. Clinical, legal. California law requires genetic testing to establish paternity in cases of disputed parentage. Jonathan exercised that right. I held up the envelope. This contains DNA test results performed by GeneDx Laboratory in New Jersey. Samples collected May 6th, results received May 15th. Amanda was crying now, silent tears, mascara running. Jonathan, please, don't do this. Don't do what? Tell the truth? Ryan stood. His chair fell backward. I need to leave. I shouldn't be here. Thomas moved, blocked the doorway. Actually, Mr. Mitchell, you should stay. These results concern you directly. Ryan's face twisted, confusion, horror dawning. What? I broke the seal on the envelope. The sound cut through the room, sharp, final. I pulled out the document. Official letterhead, embossed seal, legal weight. DNA test results, I read aloud. Test date, May 15th, 2024. Alleged mother, Amanda Morgan Hayes. Alleged fathers, candidate A, Jonathan Michael Hayes. Candidate B, Ryan Thomas Mitchell. Patricia sobbed. Richard's jaw clenched. I kept reading. Clinical. Every word deliberate. Genetic markers analyzed. 24 loci. Probability of paternity. Candidate A, Jonathan Hayes, 0.00%. I paused. Let it land. Conclusion, Jonathan Hayes is excluded as the biological father. Amanda collapsed forward, head in her hands, sobbing. I wasn't done. Probability of paternity, candidate B, Ryan Mitchell, 99.97%. Conclusion, Ryan Mitchell cannot be excluded as the biological father. The silence that followed was absolute. Then Amanda screamed, No, that's not. You tested me without consent. That's illegal. Thomas spoke calmly. Actually, in California, one party can order DNA testing without the other's knowledge when there's reasonable suspicion of infidelity affecting parental rights. It's admissible. Ryan backed against the wall. His face was green, sick. I didn't know. I swear, Jonathan, I didn't. When I moved in, she said you two were separated. She said you were seeing other people. She said she lied. I said, I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. I never would have. But you did. Patricia stood. Her face was stone. She looked at Amanda like she was a stranger. You're pregnant with the tenant's baby? Amanda reached for her mother. Mom, please, I can explain. Explain what? Patricia's voice shook. That you cheated on your husband? That you got pregnant by another man? That you lied to everyone? It's not like that. Then what is it like? Amanda turned to me, desperate, manipulative to the end. Jonathan, I made a mistake, but we can work through this. Therapy, we can save our marriage for Lily, for who? I asked. For Ryan's baby? No. I pulled out another document. The prenup, slid it across the table. Section 4.2, Infidelity Clause. You signed this 6 years ago. Do you remember? She stared at it, shaking. In the event of proven adultery, the offending spouse forfeits all claims to property acquired during marriage and waives spousal support. That's not fair. It's legally binding. Thomas added, Mrs. Hayes will have 72 hours to vacate the property. All jointly acquired assets are forfeit per the agreement. Mr. Hayes retains full custody of Lily. Richard finally spoke. His voice was cold, disappointed, disgusted. Get your things, Amanda. You're not staying here. Dad, don't. He stood, looked at her with such profound disappointment that even I felt it. I didn't raise you to be this person. I don't know who you are anymore. Daddy, please. You're not welcome in our home. Don't call. Don't visit. We're done. Patricia nodded, silent tears on her face. But her expression matched her husband's. Amanda crumbled, not theatrical, real. The full weight of consequences hitting all at once. Mom? Patricia looked away. Richard turned to me, extended his hand. Jonathan, I'm sorry for what she did, for what this cost you. You deserved better. I shook his hand. Thank you. They left, didn't look back at their daughter. Amanda sat there, destroyed. Her phone buzzed. She looked at it, then at me. It's all over social media. Someone posted about this, about the DNA test, about... Good, I said. Good? Jonathan, my career, my clients, everyone's going to know. They should know. She stared at me, really saw me for the first time in months. You planned this, all of it. You wanted to destroy me. No, I said, I wanted the truth. You destroyed yourself. Ryan was still against the wall, pale, shaking. Jonathan, I swear I didn't know. When I moved in, she told me you guys had an arrangement that you knew. I would never... I believe you, I said. He looked up, surprised. You do? You're not a bad person, Ryan, just a stupid one. She manipulated you, used you, played us both. I paused. But you still slept with my wife, in my home, while my daughter was here, so you need to leave. I understand. I'll be out by tomorrow. Tonight. His face fell. Jonathan... Thomas handed him an envelope. Eviction notice, effective immediately. Breach of lease due to moral conduct violations, clause 8.3. Ryan took it, nodded, broken. I'm sorry, he said again. Then he left. Through the front door, into the California evening. The house was quiet. Amanda sat at the table, mascara streaked, shaking, her hand on her belly, protective, maternal. Despite everything, she still loved that baby. What about the baby? She whispered. That's between you and Ryan, I said, not my concern. Jonathan, please, I made a mistake. A huge, terrible mistake. But we can... No, please. You have 72 hours. Thomas will send the formal separation papers tomorrow. My lawyer will handle everything else. Don't contest it. You'll lose. She looked at me one last time, searching for something. Forgiveness, mercy, love. She found nothing. I did love you, she said. Once. Maybe, I said, but not enough. She left, upstairs, to pack. I sat down at the dining room table, the envelope in front of me, DNA results scattered, lease papers unsigned, prenup highlighted, evidence, truth, justice. Thomas sat down beside me. You all right? No. You won. Did I? The house was silent, empty. Amanda's footsteps overhead, drawers opening, hangers scraping. Thomas put a hand on my shoulder. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. Then why does it feel like I lost everything? He didn't have an answer. We sat there in silence until Amanda came downstairs. 2 suitcases, red eyes, no words. She walked past me, stopped at the door. The baby's going to need a father. Then Ryan better step up. She left, car engine, driveway, gone. I sat at the dining table for another hour. Thomas left after making sure I was stable, doors locked, lights off except for the one over the table. The house was too quiet. My phone buzzed. Text from Catherine. Lily's asleep. How did it go? It's done. You okay? I don't know. Want me to bring her home? No, keep her there. I need to clean up. Okay, call if you need me. I stood, walked through the house. Every room felt wrong, empty, like a stage after the play ended. I'd won, legally, morally, socially. So why did I feel hollowed out? I cleaned the dining room, put away the dishes Amanda had set out, dumped the pot roast in the trash, untouched, put the DNA results in my office safe, locked it. By midnight, the house looked normal, clean, like nothing had happened, but everything had happened. I went upstairs, stood in the doorway of the nursery Amanda had been decorating. Crib assembled, changing table ready, stuffed animals on a shelf. A baby that wasn't mine would never sleep here. I closed the door. The house was silent. I'd won. So why did I feel like I'd lost everything? 3 months later, September morning, cooler, almost fall. I stood in the kitchen making coffee. Same routine, different life. Lily sat at the counter doing her homework, 9th week of 4th grade. She'd adjusted better than I'd expected. Kids are resilient like that. Dad, what's 12 times 8? 96? Thanks. She scribbled in her notebook. Catherine came downstairs. She'd been staying with us more often, not living here exactly, just present, helping, being family. Morning, she said. Coffee's ready. She poured a cup, sat next to Lily. You're getting good at those multiplication tables, kiddo. Lily beamed. Mrs. Patterson says I'm at the top of my class. That's my girl. I watched them, aunt and niece, easy, natural, family. Amanda texted occasionally. Never to me. Thomas handled all communication. But she'd text about the baby, a girl, born in October, healthy. She named her Sophie. Ryan stepped up, surprising everyone, including himself. He got full-time work, moved closer to Amanda, co-parenting, trying. Amanda's design business collapsed. Clients dropped her once word spread. Her parents still weren't speaking to her. Last I heard, she'd moved to Arizona. Fresh start. I didn't care. Not anymore. The house sold the garage apartment to a retired couple, Harold and Evelyn Harper, 70s, kind. They brought Lily cookies on her first day of school, waved at me when they saw me in the driveway. Normal, safe, no complications. Dad? Lily looked up from her homework. Yeah? Can I show you something? She pulled out a piece of construction paper from her backpack. Another drawing. Colored pencils this time, more detailed than the crayon one from June. A house, stick figures in front, labels, me, Daddy, Aunt Kate, Mr. and Mrs. Harper. A tree with flowers, a sun, clouds. A dog. Wishful thinking, she'd been asking for one. At the top, in careful lettering, Our Family. I stared at it, felt something loosen in my chest. "This is beautiful, Lily." Mrs. Harper helped me with the flowers. She said families come in all different shapes. She's right. So we're okay? Even without, you know. She didn't say Amanda's name, hadn't in months. I knelt down, met her eyes. "We're more than okay. We're exactly who we're supposed to be." She hugged me, tight, 8-year-old arms around my neck. "I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, sweetheart." Catherine watched us, smiling. She'd been right back in May. I wasn't destroying a family. I was protecting the one that mattered. After Lily went to school, Catherine and I sat on the back porch. Coffee, quiet morning. "You seem better," she said. "I am." "Really? Or are you just saying that?" I thought about it. Honest answer. "I'm different. Not better or worse, just different." "That's fair." We sat in silence, comfortable. "You know what's funny?" I said. "What?" "I built this home for family. That's what I always said. But I was building it for the wrong idea of family. The picture-perfect version. The one that looks good on social media. And now? Now I'm building it for the people who actually show up." Catherine smiled. "That's very wise. Don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to maintain." She laughed. That evening, I picked Lily up from school. She bounded into the car. Energy. Joy. "Guess what?" "What?" "Mrs. Harper invited us over for dinner Friday. She's making lasagna." "That sounds great. Can we go?" "Of course." "And can Aunt Kate come?" "I'll ask her." Lily buckled her seatbelt, chattered about her day. I listened, really listened. At home, I made dinner. Spaghetti, Lily's favorite. We ate at the kitchen counter. The dining room table still felt too heavy with memory. After dinner, Lily did her homework. I cleaned up. Catherine helped. She made another drawing, Catherine said quietly. I saw. "You're going to run out of fridge space." "I'll buy a bigger fridge." She smiled. Later, after Lily went to bed, I stood in the kitchen, looking at that drawing on the fridge, held up by magnets. Our family, me, Lily, Catherine, the Harpers. Not traditional, not what I'd planned, but real, honest, built on people who stayed when things got hard. I thought about Amanda, wondered if she was happy in Arizona, if Ryan was a good father, if baby Sophie would ever know the story of how she came into the world. I hope not. Kids deserved better than their parents' mistakes. My phone buzzed. Text from Thomas. "Final divorce papers signed. It's official." I stared at that message, felt nothing, no relief, no sadness, just acknowledgement. "Thanks for everything." "Anytime. Drinks next week?" "Sure." I set my phone down, looked at Lily's drawing again. This home was for family, and now finally it was. If you've ever rebuilt after betrayal or found family in unexpected places, share your story below. You're not alone. And if this story meant something to you, hit that subscribe button, because family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's just the people who show up when everyone else walks away. More stories like this every week.